So I mean, I guess really the question everyone wants to know is, I mean, you've talked about it,
The question everyone wants to know.
catching the baby.
Of course, I caught the baby, Steve. What I look like. That's the first thing I told I told the nurse, and then she.
Yeah.
Told
So
me.
I wanted to ask you that. So what that conversation? What was that like?
It was actually pretty simple because in my head I was making it more of a big to-do than it really needed to be.
Yeah.
But I was basically like, they were switching shifts, so they were going from like whatever they switch at 7 p.m. So at 7 p.m. they switched, and the nurse, our new nurse, had come in at that point, and this is about the time things were starting to get kind of real, and well, for Jess anyway, and I was like, hey, like if everything's going well, like I want to be in there whenever she like comes out. And she was like, oh yeah, that's no problem. I was like, all right, cool. And then it was like, I ain't even talked to the midwife yet. And then she talked to the midwife for me. Like as the midwife comes in, she was like briefing her on everything. And then she was like, oh yeah. And then if if everything's going well, Dad wants to be there when the baby comes. And I was like, very nice. And I didn't have to say nothing. It was like, as it got close, she was like, all right, Dad, you need to come over here. And I was like, oh, all right. And yeah, then I got hands, Steve. What can I say?
I was to say, apparently, I guess you didn't drop the ball, right?
I mean, I did not drop the
bag
ball.
Was secured.
Yeah, for any of those who are wondering, the midwife did. She got her head. So Austin is my baby's name, and she was delivered, I guess, what they would call sunny side up. I learned. Do you know what that means?
Is that they're facing up?
Well, her head was down, but she was facing the stomach, as opposed to, I guess, in an ideal scenario, her head is down.
Like the back of her head?
Yeah. In an ideal scenario, she's opposite, so she's facing the tailbone, but they called it sunny side up, which I guess led to a much tougher delivery than it would have been had she been non-sunny side up. But anyway, so what that means for me in the whole catching scenario, I guess, since that's the first part we're diving into, Steve.
I mean,
fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. She's like, all right, I'm gonna grab her head, and as she's coming out, you like catch her after that. And I was like, all right, and I'm in there. And I mean, I had been watching the whole time, so like I was right there. I was trying to help her push in solidarity. And anyway, yeah, so she was like, all right, she's coming, Dad, get over here. And so I went over there, and as her like she pushes and the head comes out, and then midwife grabs the head, and then I'm like scooping up underneath. I catch it, and I'm like, holy shit.
That's crazy, man.
Because the two, and for what it's worth, like this baby's coming out, like what you don't think about, you just think of baby, but you're not thinking like this baby's covered in like amniotic fluid and and her mother and all sorts of other things, and she's just getting pushed out, so she's like got a cone head. And like she comes out, and I'm like, I remember saying, like, holy shit. And so the midwife immediately like starts wiping her off, and I'm holding her, and she's like, all right, hold her for a second, I'm gonna get her wiped off, and then you hand her to Mom. And so then I put her on like just the stomach after that, and it was all, well, as far as that part goes anyways, it was all good. That's and crazy, I cut the umbilical cord too. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah,
good. Congratulations on delivering and catching your first baby.
Thanks, man. You know, I don't think it'll be my last. It was a great experience.